No one normally talk here.
Yeah, that's a bit we talk.
Is that?
Merry Christmas,
Really?
everybody.
Merry Christmas
Welcome
to
to
all.
Club Trev. We're back again for nearly a new year of the Club Trev podcast. Merry Christmas, Trev.
Same to you.
How was Christmas?
Oh, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it was all right. Did my own thing, and saw the kiddies, and cost me a fortune, and that's good.
Standard.
They're all happy. LED headlights and trips to America or whatever they do.
Doing it tough. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And joined by our two special guests today. First of all, I'll bring in Joey Bennett. One special. Joey's back again.
Merry Christmas.
Pick that up. It makes me awkward if you're sitting there not holding
You
it.
can't just grab it and lean forward to it. It's not your wedding
Keep
night.
it there.
Like, just hold it.
Hello, Joey. Merry Christmas, mate.
Adrian?
Look at our guest. He's looking to go, fuck, do I really hang out with this bloke? Fucking hell.
Occasionally. Not always.
And our very special guest, Panthers legends, Royce Simmons. What's going on, Royce?
Oh, great to be here, and I've had a great Christmas, and unfortunately I've got caught up with Joe Bennett today, which is...
How much that cost you?
Well, it's cost me about 150 so far, and well, he's been here 3 hours. Anyway.
Is that par for the course, or is that...
No, that's an everyday occurrence when I meet Joe.
Joey, he always brags about how good a punter he is around you, and he told me once about a story when you're on the punt. You told him to go and put a trifecta on or something, and I can't remember the pub.
Could have been the Pioneer.
It could have been the Pioneer.
Could have been.
And where was it, Joey?
Pioneer.
And we might lead with this just to really get some mongrel into you. So you've sent Joey, and if I can remember, you sent him and said, go and put this on. You were hammered or whatever you were.
No, I wasn't hammered. I was sober as a judge and fully fit and everything. And I asked Joe one thing to go and put a bet on.
Yeah.
And
was George Michael Simmons.
Then I went...
Yeah, we'll get on to George soon. Don't worry about George.
My father sent us a tip, and I said to him, can it win? And he said, there's only two certainties in life. He said, death and this dog. So I put a lot of money...
he didn't pay tax
I
either.
give a lot of money to Joe. Well, a lot of money in our terms. It wasn't very much. It was a lot of money. And Joe went and put on the wrong race.
But then you cheered. But those numbers that you put on came home, didn't they?
Oh, they all won. Yeah, we got the money. Yeah. And I'm sitting there counting. I thought, like, was $1,000 a lot of money? There's a lot of money now, but there's a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I got 1,000 here, and Joe might have won a little bit for himself. Then Joe.
I think it might have been a bit more than that.
Well, Joe went to collect. It probably was a little bit more than that. I don't want to. Joe went to collect, and it said nil pay.
Have you ever had a nil
pay?
Like when the thing says you nil pay,
Yeah.
fuck, your heart goes.
But what about when you check it 4 times?
Yeah.
No, that can't be right.
Well,
so you do it again, nil pay. Oh, no, there's something wrong with the machine.
What about when you call the manager out and say, listen, if you don't fucking pay me, it's going to be trouble.
Your pub's going to cost you more than the $2,000 I'm down. And so
The problem with the nil pay now is on the EBTs, the speakers out loud, the chick yells out, this is not a winning ticket, so the 4 people behind you know as well, and it's just rubbing it in that stage.
Loser.
I've been thinking about buying a horse and calling it nil pay.
It might do well.
Could win a lot of money.
It could.
Ours is going to be Woofy Cooker, so that's the name on our list.
Nothing worse than a Wolfie Cooker. And then, so
anyway, Joe cost a lot of money, and I did get a bit cranky. I did chase him with a pool cue, and I was prepared to hit him on the head with it, but he out the door and over the fence he went. So.
And what number was he in football?
Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like 99 or something.
Oh, okay. So right.
He wasn't in the team. Put
No,
the weight, no.
righto. So right, he was out there putting bets on. I was going to say if he was a little bit lower number than you, no wonder he was more nimble. He might have got away, but
more nimble.
I've seen Joe quite nimble in this pub. Actually, we've talked about this story before. Jason, geez, he had a good left step on him. He could have sidestepped Billy Slater on that night.
Well, it must have been a long time ago.
Oh no, it wasn't too long ago. It was a few years.
It must have been a long time.
It was a few years, and Tony and I have had a few laughs out of that over the years, I must admit. And you talk about your father. He was a pretty good trainer, and he knew his dogs and things like that.
Yeah. My dad.
Yeah. And he was local.
He was it was a local. He was a butcher.
Yep.
Had his own little shop, and had all the sawdust on the floor like they used to have back then. The young people wouldn't remember that, but all the sawdust, in case you dropped a bit of meat and it would land in the sawdust, you
That was seasoned.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
That's when you put the marinade on.
Yeah, that's right. It looked like crumbed schnitzel.
And this was for those that wouldn't know, it's out of Goolgong?
Yeah, the little town of Goolagong.
Yep.
There's only about a couple hundred people, yeah.
And for those that wouldn't know, where would that be? Can you set the scene for...
Oh, if you left Penrith and you go up through, over the mountains and to Lithgow, Bathurst, Blaney, Cowra, stay on the Lachlan River.
Yeah.
Then you get to Goolagong, Forbes, in between Cowra and
Parks.
Forbes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Cowra and Forbes,
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so we had a little butcher shop there, and he had a...
Well, we were kind of out there the other week
Yeah.
at Warren, kind of. Like,
Well, he used to make sausages, and they were the worst sausages.
did he advertise that?
Were they full of sawdust?
No,
or was it-
there was no sawdust in them.
Every time you cooked them, they caught fire. There was that much wood in them.
He used to make them, and he'd make them like he loved them, but they were crap. No one else in the town would go near them. Eat them. We had little Chihuahua dogs. We used to give.
Don't tell me they disappeared.
We give the little sausage. We give the sausage. Me and my brother hide them in our pockets because we didn't want to eat them. We give them the little Chihuahua dogs. They go out and bury them, but they never ever dig them up. They stayed there forever. And this particular day, his butcher shop got robbed.
Was it spite?
No,
Maybe it was just spite from eating bad shit sausages.
No, it was just robbed, and they called. There's only one copper in the town because the town was that small. So they called the local policeman down. He come down. He's having a bit of a look around, and he said to Dad, "What's gone? What's missing? What's been stolen?" He said, "Well, they broke in. They come in the side door, and he said they've kicked the door down. That's going to cost me a lot of money." And he said they've pinched me till. And they've taken all the money in the till. Till was only an ice cream can, plastic can anyway.
Like Whippy's Bar at Leichhardt Oval.
He tried to exaggerate a little bit. And he said they've done this and they've done that and they've taken this and they've taken that. And they said, what in the shop have they taken? He said, well, I'll tell you what. He said they've taken a bullock. He said they've taken 4 sheep. He said 2 pigs and 12 chickens. And he said, oh, all right. Copper said, all right, I'll have a look around, so you're going to pick up some clues. So he's looking around, having a look everywhere, and he said, got the best of the old man after about 15 minutes, and he said, you picked up any clues yet? He said, yes. He said, it was definitely a local. He said, how do you know? He said, he left the sausages.
So they were that shit?
Yeah, they were that shit. Yeah.
Right. And so how long did you live out there for? Till you were...
Oh, till I was 20, yeah.
And did they pick you up from football out there?
Oh, I played, it depends where you want to go back to. I played a lot of rugby union as a kid.
Number 2?
Was it a union town or a league town sort of
No,
thing?
well, I lived in a little town of Goolagong, so there's no sport there.
Yeah.
Because the place was too small. Originally come from a little town called Canoundra.
Yeah.
And rugby union and rugby league was played there. Rugby union is juniors.
Yep.
So I went back over there to play. When we moved from that town to the smaller town, I went back there to play rugby union, and used to represent as a halfback.
Yep.
Played representative football. Played against the Ellers and Dominic Vaughan and all them blokes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that in country or was that?
I played country.
Yeah.
I played country first. Whatever. Well, as a kid in the things, and when we went and played them, they'd be in the Sydney region, and so I played against all them boys, and then when I had to go to Cowra to go to high school, which was another town. We had to travel in a bus every day, about an hour in a bus to get up to Cowra High School. I started to play rugby league, and I was in a very good rugby league side up there that I think over 4 years only got beaten 2 or 3 times.
Shit.
So we had a really good side.
Good mate of mine lives at Cowra. He's got a business out there.
Yeah.
It's probably your age. Yeah.
Top town.
Yeah, it's a great
really
town.
So I played a bit there, and I ended up playing for again Canoundra and Cowra at first grade level. Only when I was 17, 18, and 19.
Captain?
No, first grade. I was playing with blokes who were captain coaches.
Yeah, right.
in
Okay.
the bush.
Yeah.
I was playing with the men.
Right.
And I was sort of there wasn't many blokes my age playing with the men, you know.
Right.
How tough was that playing? Was it a rough league? Or
Yeah, very tough, very tough.
You're copping an elbow every time.
I played with some very tough blokes who used to look after us.
George played?
George never played. He was a pretty fair cricketer, but he never played it. I played with a bloke called Greg Fernley and Joe Walsh, who none of the people. Joe Walsh played the 1969 Balmain side, won the comp.
Yep.
He was a rhythm guitarist in the Eagles, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He went on to bigger and better things.
Well, same name, different person.
Oh, right, okay. He just liked to drink, that's all. I thought
last time I listened to him, he should just stick to drinking.
he does have a whiny voice, old Joe Walsh. He's very good, Rocky Mountain Way.
So Joe Walsh played in the Balmain side that won the grand final in 1969.
69 grand final,
And Greg Fernley in the other front row partner, he played for Western Division that beat Penrith in 1974 in MCO Cup.
Right, okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Another big
I remember the
front row.
MCO Cup.
Yeah,
MCO Cup, but I don't remember Penrith in 74.
Well, they were a final. I don't know if it was 74, but around about that time, 74, 75.
Remember TV Ted?
Yeah, TV Ted. No, they won't remember him.
I don't remember TV Ted.
They're too young, these people, mate. Give them a break.
No, Trevor, what is
TV Ted was a legend.
Really? Where's he from? Here?
Carry on.
No, he played in the side that beat Penrith.
Right. No, I don't remember him.
Do you remember the MCO Cup?
I remember MCO Cup.
I thought you were a bit older, Trev.
5'5". Only 5'5". What are you like?
62.
Yeah, so that's 7 years is a big difference. You know, 7 years is a big. What are you,
So
Tony?
anyway-
You're about 98. Yeah.
Give it take a week. So
He was-
anyway, at the end of the day,
He remembers watching
when I was
WC
at-
Grace
you
play
asked
cricket.
me, was it hard playing with these against the men?
Yeah.
It was, unless I had a couple of big blokes either side me like them two. They looked after me, and
Were you playing dummy half then or halfback?
no, I was hooker then.
Yeah.
Not a very good one, but I was hooker then.
Dawning in the change rooms, having a shower. Hanging out with them. Oh, Jesus. I don't look like that.
Well, I was a bit,
if you're only 15.
you probably noticed I wasn't 15, I was 17.
Oh, okay.
17, 18,
Yeah, right.
19.
Right,
and I was
okay.
tall enough you didn't have to have a look. If you when I go into to generally have a shower with someone, I don't actually have a look at how they're travelling.
Really?
No,
Oh,
no,
shit.
That's
It's
just
I
your
do.
problem, Trev.
It's not-
Hey,
it's
every
not
day
that-
I
it's not
fuck
that
I'm below
important to me.
average.
It's not that important to me.
No.
Talking about things that
I got
people look in
nervous.
the shower, here comes Kegs.
Yeah, we had to swim at your place. That explains a lot. But anyway, so was the old man influence? So you when did you make Penrith home from Goolagong? Did you overseas it all before then, or?
I trialled with St George in about 78, I think.
Just come off a grand final win, St George. 77, I think. They won the grand final.
I went down there and trial with St George.
Yeah.
I didn't make it. That was the import rule. I wasn't good enough to make it. Then I come back and I went down with Souths, and I got an invitation to go down with Souths, and I went down there, and I was living and training down there, and I had a feeling I wasn't going to make it down there neither, because I had quite a few good hookers in the system.
Were there country scouts out? So were you on the radar by that stage, or were you doing your best just coming up and throwing your name out?
No. There were people, they invited you. They come and watched you play, and they invited you to go down, So, and then, and I was at Souths, and I'd been down there for a couple of months, and I didn't think I was going to make it. And I played for Souths one day, and after the game, Lenny Stacker, who coached Penrith, and Lenny coached Penrith, I think, 79, 80 and 81.
Yep.
Tremendous coach. If he had had the players, the players, he could have done anything. Lenny was a fantastic player, a fantastic man. And Lenny come down to Redfern Oval and watched me play. he had a connection with a bloke called Barry Rushworth.
Right, yeah.
Now, Barry Rushworth played with the 1963 Kangaroos.
Right, yeah.
And played for Parramatta.
Yep.
And he said to Lenny rung him and said, any good players up in Group 10, Western Division? And he said one, and it was me.
Yep.
He said, and so he rung home and talked to Mum, and Mum said, oh, well, he's down playing for trialling for South. So he come down and found me and said to me, I watched you play today, mate. I'd like to ask you up to Penrith next week to play. I said, well, there's a trial on tomorrow, isn't there? And he said, yes. He said, but you can't play 2 days in a row. And I said, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I'll turn up tomorrow because you were desperate. So I come up here the next day. I think I played Souths. I played in about a third or fourth grade game. The following day, I hooked against George Paponis, the Australian hooker.
Paponis,
the Australian hooker at the time. So I come up and I hooked against him.
Yeah.
And end of the game,
he was tough.
Well,
George
when
Paponis.
I say I hooked against him, I played a reserve grade game, then played about 10 minutes against George Paponis.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of a, have a look. And end of the game, Lenny Stacker said to me, Simo, I want you to stay here and play. And he said, we need to sign you up. How much money you want? And I said, I want a whopping $4,000.
Right.
Yeah, well, big cash.
But what year are we talking here?
I'm talking...
this would be 79.
I'm talking 1980.
80, right, yeah.
And, I didn't want any money.
VB,
really, but
it's a VB Commodore.
But
that was
then,
about $4,000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A VB Commodore.
It was a year's work, but
Yeah.
But anyway, he said to me, so they went back to the board and of the rugby league club, and they said, no, we can't afford that right now. So this went on for about 3 or 4 weeks. I kept training. Anyway, in the end, they said, well, in the end, they give in to Lenny and said, well, righto, we'll give him $4,000. And well,
the rest is history.
Well, about history, but anyway, so anyway, I got a run here with Penrith. Yeah,
wow,
fantastic.
And where'd you end up? Where'd you end up crashing? So you put up for the accommodation, or
when I signed with Penrith, I had $28 worth of 2 bobs left.
Yeah.
I've been trying.
A bit like you on the punt today with Joey.
No difference.
Haven't you come a long way in life?
I haven't got $28 left. So I stood down there in High Street. I had $28 left.
Yeah.
Wow.
And looking for somewhere to live. Anyway, I got one of the current players said, come and stay with me for a while, and then anyway.
Wow.
So that's what happened.
Wow.
There's no getting your houses or anything.
No, there's no
getting your jobs. You got your own job. Went at the Penrith Golf Club and got myself a job out there. I'm a greenkeeper by trade.
Yeah, very good.
Job out there. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you would just work. You obviously you play a Saturday afternoon game. You probably work Saturday mornings. Come out.
Oh, I worked every Sunday morning overtime.
Yeah.
You need
right. You need the bucks.
Yeah, need the bucks. Yeah.
And then when did you run into this?
Joe Bennett.
Yeah, lovely bloke.
I can't remember anything from that time on. It's all a mystery.
Really?
It's all a mystery.
Right.
Yeah.
You know you won a grand final, don't you?
Who?
You.
Where?
Well, with Penrith. You know you won it, don't you? Like, you would have been mates with it. Yeah, go on, just talk. Go on.
You're allowed to talk, Joe.
Okay, all right. So,
yeah, where'd you meet him? There, we'll go the other way.
So, Rowdy got a job, and I'll just clarify. Rowdy. That's his nickname.
That's his nickname, Rowdy Royce. Yeah.
And you know what Rowdy stands for, right?
You're going to tell us.
Well,
because he's loud.
Because he's rowdy.
Hang on. It looks like it. Like, look at him.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
So Royce got a job with Panthers. He was fucking playing, but he was also working for the club in marketing.
How are you in marketing?
Marketing. The Goolagong boy in marketing. Anyway.
This is when you're still over at Kmart Centre, when Panthers was over there.
It was no Kmart.
Where the
no, it was a bit
land
after
is.
that.
Okay, it was after that.
I was there for the first couple of years when that was there.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, he sent one of his disciples to come knock on my door and see if I'd sign up to be a sponsor. And basically, the promise was, if I can't help you do better, you're in for nicks. I guess a good deal.
This is Penrith Air Supply.
Yeah, this is 1988.
What are you installing? Weather walls?
Yeah, when I was installing weather walls, and we had no money.
The big old brown weather walls that you used to smash your head on when you ride your bike down the side of the house.
Anyway, so he gets me into this sponsorship group, and I'll never forget it. Judy and I, the very first night we went to a function, he walked us around, personally, introduced us to every player, made sure that they knew who we were, right? Yeah. And from that day forward, like we got so much business. We got no business from the club, but all the sponsors gave us business. Like,
wow!
It was awesome.
So he wasn't bad at marketing after all.
He was fucking very good at marketing. Let me tell you. Trust me. Like, he should be the marketing.
Look at him
king.
now. He's got a whole block of units named after him.
I know.
Did you get one of them or not?
Yeah, he's got 8 of them. He's got 8 of them. He's got 8 of them.
I've got no
In
tips.
case you get really old.
No tips off Bennett.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's a millionaire now, and
Yeah.
I got
No sleeves.
He left you high and dry, didn't he?
He did, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that £80
Sure,
you
mate.
give me.
You can defend yourself.
How does that work?
Yeah.
I never left you nowhere, mate. I just listen.
You're a multi. I got nothing.
Work this out, okay? You hang around with the bloke who's played for Australia, captained his club, won a grand final, played State of Origin. What about when he fucking got knocked out in State of Origin?
Oh, what about at Lang Park?
He won man of the match and he doesn't remember a thing, right?
Can you tell us your highlights?
Tell us your highlights of
That's
that
the
game.
highlight reel, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I go around with this guy. How do you think I'm feeling? Like, well, how much pressure's on me? Like,
You got a unit in Port Douglas as well?
Where?
yeah.
Port Douglas, you got a unit up there as well if you hang
Port
around
Douglas.
here. Yeah.
Whatever I've got, he's got.
Really? Good boy. Yeah. And so tell us about.
Should we get through?
It's like a
let's
Simpsons
get through
episode.
we'll get through some of the footy stuff, and then we can talk about the fun stuff afterwards. Why not get rid of the? We want to get to the fun stuff soon.
You do the footy stuff. I go for Parramatta, so I don't have many highlights from about 1986 onwards.
Yeah, I was 6 years old when they won the comp, so anyway. So that we'll get through quickly. Obviously, grand final winner, played for your country. Origin, like I said, Origin knocked out Lang Park, man of the match. Best players you played with? You giving a rap now, or?
Oh, mate. Picking your best players is
List too long.
It's too hard. The list is too long. And
What about that ball? Didn't Guy give you a ball on the inside or the outside?
No, it was. Well, I was lucky enough to go away with Kangaroo side.
Who's best off the ground might be a better question.
No, it's a fair question.
Yeah.
I went away with the 1986 Kangaroo side, all right? And we went through
Half of that was Parramatta.
the whole tour and never got beaten.
Yeah.
And second side to do that. And if you go through the side I played with, there was players like Peter Sterling, Wally Lewis. This is in the Test side,
Right?
Wally Lewis, June Miles, Brett Kenny, Gary Jack at fullback. Mal Meninga couldn't make the starting side in the Test side.
Yeah.
So, and if you go to the second side, it was Des Hasler, Greg Alexander, Terry Lamb, Chris Mortimer, Gary Belcher.
Yeah.
Like Benny Elias was the hooker, and if they both played each other,
Yeah.
I don't know who'd win. I got no idea. I mean, that's how good that side had 26 of the best players that
You'd ever meet.
you'd ever meet. So it was, so when you say to me who's the best players, I think, well, is Wally Lewis better than Brett Kenny?
Yes.
Is Mel?
So someone that would have played against them, you have the same argument you would have over a beer anyway. The same sort of argument.
Yeah, same arguments.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't get someone says to me, well, I think such and such is better, and I think, well, I can't make an argument out of that. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
You pick your own, you watch them play, and it's all
I still
like
think, and it was tough. Oh, well, I think it was really tough then because, I'm older than you, but that era from like 84 up until 89 was some of the best players you'll ever, like the Bradley Clydes and the, things like that. They're unbelievable players. Yeah. I mean, they're all fitness freaks now, and they've all got, 8 personal trainers and people who dietitian them. I remember watching, I played for Cliffy Lyons used to just, unlimited interchange, go and have a smoke.
He's still playing. He's still playing.
He's playing
footy,
about under 40s now at Brewarrina or somewhere wherever he's playing. Or
goes on.
Under 60s now, but
and who's the toughest? And them questions they're very hard to. Very hard to handle.
Did you say Gary Jack? Did you play with, or Gary? That was Gary Belcher, wasn't it?
Gary Jack was in the test side, but Gary Belcher was in the second side.
Gary Jack was tough.
Oh, he was
tough as nails. Ray Price. I mean, that was the biggest letdown in my life. He was tough, Ray Price. I went fishing with him, and I don't mind saying he was the rudest, most arrogant prick I've ever met.
Well, the toughest player. If I went to have to pick the toughest, Chris Morton was the toughest.
Yeah, he was tough. Yeah.
He's the hardest bloke I've ever.
Yeah, they had a good side back then. So, a couple of little things. Let's go a little bit left centre because I know Adrian likes to talk shit, but just. I mean, I drive out to Bathurst a bit, and I can do it in about an hour and 20. But can you explain why it takes about 10 hours to drive from here to Bathurst?
No.
Well,
Bathurst to here.
Oh, Bathurst to here. Why does it take? It's still the same way. It's only 136 k's or whatever it is. Why does it take 10 hours?
If you can go to Bathurst in an hour,
just quickly,
if you can go to the Bathurst an hour and 20 minutes, I don't want to be in with you.
Oh well,
we got there in about how long did it take to get to Bathurst the other day?
Yeah, we go all right, but. It doesn't take that long now. It's only 136 k's.
Mate, you won't be getting there under 2 hours.
Stop it. Why does it take 10 hours?
You won't get there under 2 hours.
No, it's about 2 and a bit.
Where do we go? We got to Cowra in 4, didn't we?
No, we were to Bathurst on the weekend.
You can get to Cowra in about 3:15.
Is that what it is?
Listen, this is going nowhere. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why it takes
10
10
hours. Why does it
hours.
take 10 hours?
Because there's 22 pubs from Bathurst to Penrith.
Idiots.
So it's about 20 minutes a pub. So that's about 24 minutes a pub. So that's 3 bets for him if he loses $38 a pub on the bet.
That's a lot of money.
So what are you down? You're about at 910 hours.
Well, I just happened to go with. I wasn't a driver.
Clearly not with 22 pubs. So Joey drove.
It is no.
You better keep that in your hand.
So Lou. Lou drove.
We do take a bus.
Oh, okay.
We do take a bus. Mm-hmm. And it's a bit embarrassing when you pull up at any one of them 28 pubs and they know what you drink. That's bad. That's bad.
What's the one opposite the Lake Lyle turn off at Lithgow? You'd go there. He goes for South.
It's his favourite.
Yeah, we go. The Donnybrook Hotel, is that what it is? The Donnybrook.
I know she's a fan. She'll tell us when she gets back. She'll know. She lives.
Yeah, so the Donnybrook Hotel. So I went fishing with ET a few times, and then we go and make these stupid.
Can we pick up these names you keep dropping?
Don't worry about that. But you go and do it.
Floor.
You go and do, but he's a mad South thing. So when ET walks in there, he rings all his mates and they come and do it. But he loves us. Was his name Sean or? I can't remember what his name was, but the Donnybrook Hotel, that's a good one to have a beer at. Yeah, been there numerous times.
It's a bit of a dry run between there and there. So
from Bathurst Lithgow, there's that. Yeah, there's about the.
So Trevor, are you clear now on why it takes 10 hours to get?
22 pubs. I wouldn't have made it home. I wouldn't have made it up the hill.
Guess who the ringleader was?
Royce. I'm Zip. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Well, just quickly on the Penrith community, I guess you've seen it change a lot in 30 years since you've been here, I suppose, since 80.
Like some massive changes, like just where we're sitting around here, and
this was just a paddock.
Yeah, I'm up the road, and I used to walk through 3 paddocks to get to school. Now it's 4 blocks away.
No, and just down around the middle of Sydney, around the middle of the town. The city, the massive changes there. It was a mall, and it wasn't a mall, and things. And
I can remember going there throwing detergent.
Pubs that were there that are not there anymore. And all that sort of thing. But the best thing I know about this town is the people are fantastic, and they don't change, and they support people who have a go.
Yeah.
If you're a battler and you got a business and you work it really hard and you'll go and they'll support you. If you go to the cricket, the football, and you're a bloke and you're out there and you're trying your guts out every minute of the day, they'll support you. If you've got a person, this is the most important one. If I've got, over the years, I've run a fair few charity events for individual people who, passed away and looking after their families, or someone who's ill at the time.
Yep.
And I tell you what, you will get more response out of this town than you will get out of anywhere.
Yeah, they do.
And that's what's it's just a fantastic place.
We noticed that when we went to
That's
Warren,
what- yeah.
and you ask the people here, and people give, and it doesn't matter the amount they give, but people give this and
Yeah.
people give that,
Yeah.
and then there's some people that we drink down here with on a Friday night that really don't have 5 cents to rub together. Like they pay their mortgage, they pay this. Here's $100. Here's $100.
Yeah.
Like they,
100% right.
Yeah,
You've got
they
to
give it.
function for someone in our town that needs the work. They support them. That's why I love the town.
And we do have to get on to
And,
some funny things, but
Yeah, we're getting to funny things. Just quickly, last couple. What did 91 mean to the town, you reckon, in terms of as a community and growth?
Massive.
Yeah. I remember...
especially for the two blokes that robbed the armour guard trucks. It was massive. All right. That's fixing up a gambling debt, wasn't it? It was you.
It's nothing that gets you to get us sued, Trevor.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
But because I remember
91.
back in primary school, we used to sing the Panthers song in assembly. Like, that's how big it was.
Yeah,
at the time.
No, it was massive for the town because first time to break through and to really say to the rest of the community, we've got we've got a side that can compete and do everything. And
I was up that morning, up that afternoon, obviously when it was. I'm a Parramatta supporter through and through, but I ended up, and I know I'm an introvert, but I was up on stage with the microphone with the bit of paper with that Go the Mighty Ped, singing to the whole lot down at, I think it was called Reactor 1 or the Grand Prix room or whatever it was down at Panthers.
I wonder why there was no one down there.
No,
you were singing.
Yeah, I can't sing. You're exactly right. But everyone, they had these collapsible tables that they all folded out, the wooden ones.
Yeah.
Everyone started standing on the tables like dominoes. Every single table snapped in half, and then.
Go on, Trev.
So then, so my mate was big, so I remember he went missing in action. So
magic of
we're on
editing.
the piss from 6 o'clock in the morning. Right, we had chicken and champagne breakfast, and he's went and did. I think was it 2 grades in that day or 3 grades? Penrith when you won the grand final.
Oh, I can only remember the one, mate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair call. And so he went missing in action. Big tough bloke. So anyway, it ended up he broke one of his legs and his wrist because he fell over upstairs. There was that Kelly's kiosk where they make the crepes, and he tripped over the velvet rope. Out of all things, he's had the shit smashed out of him. He goes to step over it, pissed, falls over, snaps his leg, breaks his wrist. So he went. But yeah, so we did from 5:30 till 2:30, I think, which was a good session. And
there was
you talk about
one
the
stage
town.
where I was outside somewhere, and of course you went from one part of the club to another part of the club to another part of the club to another part to welcome all the fans. And one stage I sort of got a bit left on my own, and all the fans sort of come running. It got a bit scary, actually.
I remember when the bus pulled in and someone was hanging in the doorway of the bus. That was late at night.
And
late at night, that was. And
it was dangerous coming up the freeway. People had banners pulled across the thing, and I'm thinking, Jesus, if one of them banners could pull you under, but I think they're all paper probably, and they come
just
through.
ripped through them.
But it was just...
It was a good thing for the town. It was an amazing thing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was a good
Randy,
thing.
what about when you come in the club and they were rocking the bus or pushing the bus?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You shit yourself coming in.
Rocking the bus.
Wow, and then...
And so 2 tries in that final year. Was that your first 2 of the year? You're on the Nud run leading up to that?
First 2 ever.
First 2 ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we purposely didn't look at the career.
I was... First year I come down, well, the first couple of years I come down, I scored a fair few tries, but then I don't think...
You would have run off Darryl Broman then. He was like agile back then, wasn't he?
Well, it was a bit hard for me to run off him when I'm passing him the ball.
Touche.
But I could run around him, I suppose.
Anyone.
The old run around. Yeah,
the old run around. See, you pass him, run around. That's the only move they had back in the 80s.
He was a great player, Darryl Broman. He was a Darryl. Darryl, honestly, was...
He was tough. Yeah, he was tough.
And he was tough.
Yeah.
And sit you on your ass on his good shoulder. The other shoulder's a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
Fantastic player. And he'll admit this to himself. If he could have got rid of 6 or 7 kilo, I'm telling you, he would be as good as any front rower that ever played the game.
Wow.
He was a fantastic player.
Yeah, right.
But he did like his tucker. I remember he broke his jaw, and in the state of origin, back in the late 80s, he broke his jaw, and he invited me and my wife and a few other people to go and see him over at Emu Plains, about 2 weeks later, for a barbecue. And I thought, that's stupid. Back then you had to wire.
Yeah.
It wasn't plastic or anything like they do anymore. You wire it up, and they actually give you a pair of pliers in case you wanted to get sick. One of the
You have to undo the wire.
Yeah, you got to undo it so you don't choke yourself. So it's a very, so anyway, Daryl's cooked us all up this beautiful barbecue. Then I see him disappear up into his house. So I thought, wonder what he's up to. I'll sneak up and have a look. And I walked up, and he had these boxes of cheesels, and he had this rolling pin, and he was squashing, and he was getting them in his fingers, and he was feeding them in through his teeth.
Fuck, he would have had some yellow teeth. Fucking attractive.
Mate, he had a little gap there. He was feeding them in the cheesels. He did like a cheesel. Yeah, he did like a cheesel.
What's he like now? I think he likes favourites, doesn't he? Or
Top Deck, I think.
Top Deck, is that what it is? Yeah.
Mate, funniest man you ever meet.
Yeah, very funny bloke.
Great person.
Quick, quick-witted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Excellent. And so you football took you to England after the Penrith career, as Joey mentioned? Or?
Yeah. Finished playing and applied for a job at St Mary's. What a great rugby league club they are.
Yep.
Applied for a job down there, and they give it to me about being the first grade coach down there. So I went down there and was working, had a couple of games into the first thing. Next thing, some people from Hull in England come over, and they said, I heard that they were looking for a coach, and I thought,
shit.
Well, Hull's got this great tradition.
Yeah.
They've won so many events and all that. Great club, and I applied for it, and they come over and they interviewed quite a lot of coaches, and then they interviewed me, and I actually bought them a schooner each.
That'll win them.
Before, and I think that got me over the job. I think they got
the fact that he had the VCR tape with the 91 grand final. And watch this. Seriously, watch this.
Hey, boys, one little add-on to that story was he deserted us. He left us in the middle of a comp, right? Went to Hull, right? And guess what? Got there, found out they had no money. No players, no money, right? So what do you reckon he done?
How'd you raise money?
I run 5 marathons in 5 days.
Shit. 42 Ks.
I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
No, shit, no. No, I did the City to Surf twice and I was fucked.
I did that at the end of the first season. I went over there and I was a rookie coach. I shouldn't have been coaching, really. It was just, you just come from playing. You need to spend some time under some good coaches, but the opportunity was too good, and we went across. Anyway, we had 2 great years there. Really enjoyed them, and it was.
Did you get a premiership there in Hull or not?
No. We the year before they run second last or something. I got them up just to the verge of the 8, and we had to sell players, as Joe said, because we didn't have enough money at the time. So I run a few marathons and took Des Hasler over.
He's as fit as Des.
Desi was good for us, and took Des over, and Jimmy Grant. Jimmy Grant played for the Wallabies and played for Balmain.
Right,
Took him over. So to get a bit of money, you had to do a bit of running. So, so I got everyone to sponsor me to run X amount of marathons and X amount of time. And
so after the footy career, how was the body at that stage? Running 5 marathons in 5 days.
You want to see the photo? You want to see the photos of his feet?
Yeah.
They were pretty ordinary.
They'd be blistered up to the shed.
Yeah. Because all the Poms didn't believe he could do it, and guess what? Oh, fucking mate.
You did it.
He didn't just do it.
Was that 210 Ks?
Mate.
In 5 days?
In 5 days, Trev.
Yeah, whatever it is, I don't.
Trev,
shit.
They talk about Iron... they talk about Iron Man. Like, they go for a marathon run and ride a bike and have a little swim.
Yeah.
He's bloke done it 5 days straight.
And you get much money? Like to get the club out of shit?
Got enough money to take Des Hasler over, and as I said, Des was absolutely brilliant. We were having a really good year, and we played this game against Witness at Hull at the Boulevard, as they call it, Boulevard.
Yeah.
And that day it was minus 4 or 5, and there was water laying on the field, about half an inch deep, sort of. And we played that day, and
freezing.
And we come at half time, and Des Hasler was shaking everywhere, and I went and seen the doctor. I said to the doctor, "Come and have a look at Des Hasler." I said, "I think he's something wrong with him." He said, "Yeah, he's got hypothermia, mate." He said, "He's
from playing.
Yeah, he's got hypothermia." He said he's in a mess. I said, "Could anything happen?" He said, "Yeah, mate, he could
die.
He could be, yeah." So I went to the referee and I said, "Mate, we want to call the game off." I said, "I've got players in here who shaking, they've got hypothermia and all that." And the opposition coach come in and he said, "No, we've got the wind in the second half. We're not calling the game off." So it had to go to both sides had to call it off. That's how the rules were at that particular time. So anyway, we went back out and we played, and end of the game, Des was a bit of I wanted to take Des off, he wouldn't come off. And,
he's tough as Des.
Yeah,
he's tough.
And wouldn't come off. And
to set the scene, these are just this is like club footy. There's no heated dressing rooms.
No, and blokes were trying to have.
There's a bit of whiskey
and all that sort of shit. They'd never heard about it. I said, "Get up and get some whiskey and some plonk and give them a thing." I think it's all crap anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, so end of the game. Then after that game, we struggled for 4 or 5 weeks. We never recovered from that game. Anyway, we had 2 great seasons there. They wanted to re-sign me for another 2 or 3 years, and but I had to come home.
Got to come back
family
home.
reasons. Yeah.
Did the whole family go over, or just you went over?
No, the whole family.
The whole family came over?
The whole family, yeah. It was fantastic.
You would have more money if you knew him already.
Hey,
no on the punt.
Let me tell you, when he came back with a daughter that was born over there.
Yeah.
And the other 2 spoke Pommy.
Really?
They come back with Pommy accents.
You go round to his house for freshen your drink, governor.
Yeah. What are you doing, love?
Call in the union. Wow. Shit, so you did that only for 2 years, was it? I thought it was longer than that.
No, 2 years then, and then I went back over and coached St Helens.
They're a good team. Yeah.
About 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a good team.
How much did the Super League come on in that time, from the first time to the second time?
Totally different level. Totally different level.
Yeah.
It hasn't caught where Australia is.
No, it's a heap slower game. I reckon it's slower over there.
Yeah, I just mean in the facilities and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
They haven't got the money to pump into to all the structure running. Like someone
when you're playing.
When I was over there, you probably got the amount of staff difference here and the facilities.
But they had tons more money, didn't they?
But they are coming on.
Because they used to pay their players a lot more money.
Their forwards are very good players.
Yes.
Their forwards are as good as the forwards here.
And I think they every time the ones that come over in the last decade always stand up, haven't they?
The backs haven't got the genuine pace that our boys have got here. That's the backs haven't got the pace, but the forwards.
James Graham.
James
Graham, right?
Yeah.
So he's been a.
Where's he from?
Well, Royce had him at St Helens. He coached him.
Right.
So he told me, I swear, he said, this bloke's the best front rower in the world.
I think he was at that stage. He would have been.
No, well, he came over here and he proved it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe he's
tough.
Absolutely.
Right,
but Gareth Ellis was the same. Gareth Ellis, who else come out here? Morley, all those blokes.
You think Canberra onto something?
I deal with Gareth Ellis at the West Tigers when I was working the West Tigers.
Yes,
when we won the premiership down there in 2005. Well, he come a year later, but he was an outstanding player.
Yes.
And very dedicated. And all their forwards are. The backs are just a yard off the pace.
Yes.
Well, Ricky and the people who
good blokes
select
playing with good pace are playing soccer.
Just because I can, I'll ask about.
In my opinion.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Rugby league is always going to be third or fourth fiddle to EPL, rugby, cricket.
Over there.
Yeah. Just because I can. Tell us about 05 and your involvement with the Tigers.
He's a Tiger, by the way.
It was a really great time of my.
Who was that? Cowboys.
Yes.
Yeah. Tim Sheens.
Was it through Sheens he ended up?
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, Tim asked me to go down there because we were always when I first come to Penrith, we was trained together. I quickly picked out who was a real dedicated person. It was Sheensy.
Yeah.
So I trained with him all the time, run with him, did everything, and he'd give you advice and whatever over the years, and then got the opportunity. Then he ended up coaching me, and I ended up the captain.
Yeah.
So, we had a great relationship right through that time. And then he asked me to come down to the Tigers, and he asked me to be the defensive coach stroke skills. Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of defence and a lot of skill training with him, so...
despite
all these young boys come through, and I said to him, I said to Tim, I said, you've set a goal that we'll make the top 4. I said, Tim, we won't make the top 4 while our bum points to the ground.
Yeah.
I said, we just can't make it, mate. We haven't got the players. And he said, I think we have. I said, well, I don't. Anyway, with about 9 rounds to go, we're running 3 or 4 from the bottom.
Yeah. You're 14. 14.
And I said, Tim, change our goal from top 4 to
possibly top 8 if you can do it. Yeah.
And we went, and he said, boys, I was talking to Simo, and he said, thinks we should rechange our things. And Benny Gallier stood up and he said, if we win 8 of the next 9, we'll make the top 4. And I said, you win 8 of the next 9, mate, I'll walk to Burke backwards anyway. I still should be walking. I still should be walking. And they did. They won 8 of the next 9.
But I know all the talk that year when people look back is about the flair and that, but it was the defence that won them the semi and the defence in those tough games.
was good. I think we had, over the last 12 rounds, we had the best defence in the competition.
Yeah.
Before that, we were the worst, I think.
Let me give you.
There's always Parramatta, Royce.
Let me give you a little insight to Royce's time with the Tigers, right? So he's looking after Benji Marshall, all that.
Who was on fire then? Yeah,
the whole lot of them were. Anyway, so they were cheeky pricks, right? They're putting shit on him all the time. Okay, so one day he got the fucking shits. He got all his old Australian kit out and went to train wearing his Australian jersey and said,
did it still fit?
Any of you pricks ever played for Australia?
True story, right?
Lie.
That's bullshit. Joey's not a liar.
I know it's a true story.
And, you had no one, obviously. Well, you would have had... Did you have Sirinen back then, young Sirinen?
No, old Sirinen.
He's later on. And after. And I'll tell you what, very good player, him too. He's just... Injuries have prevented him from being an Australian player.
Yeah.
And all them boys that come through, Bryce Gibbs, Liam Fulton.
Liam's local here, isn't he now?
No, Liam's...
around.
He'd have to be... But he was... I know you don't like talk about tough. He would have to be one of the best players ever, Bob.
Bobby, no relation, but
no, but just saying to Fulton, but Bobby, he would have to be when you're talking about best players. He would have to be in everyone.
You weren't old enough to know him. Now you.
Don't worry about that. I'm only 36.
Only Liam.
Don't worry about that.
Liam's career was curtailed. He was only a small forward. And
but
fantastic
Bob Fulton would be one of the best players you could ever watch.
In that team, that get a little bit lost. Like I stay in contact all the time. Robbie and Benji and Liam and Bryce and Johnny Scandalis, fantastic bloke.
Yep.
Stay in contact all the time. They will ring you up and ask you doing this and doing that, and that was a great part of me. And Penrith, best thing ever happened to me, but that was a good part.
That's awesome.
Good part of me.
And you obviously love Penrith.
Should we get on to Penrith itself then, and what's happened since? Joey, do you want to lead the next part of the story?
I got so much.
Yeah, I know you want to do this.
So
should we start with the punting?
Good luck
here,
Royce.
Remember,
always go back to how he lost you 300 today. Just always go back to that.
Oh, right, okay. I want Rowdy.
He would have made that while he did.
I want Rowdy to tell you the story about Davey Hall in Hawaii chatting up a American chick.
Oh, the old, where do you live?
Where do you live? Now, you got to hear this story. This is fucking hilarious.
Let him tell.
Come on, Royce. Come on, give us it.
Some of these old stories I can't remember anymore. But anyway,
You want a tip? You need a tip?
There's nothing wrong.
I'll give you a tip.
There's nothing wrong with this bloke's
It was
mind.
standing in a bar, right? Standing in the bar, and Dave Hall's going, always going, can I get a couple of schooners? No, can I get a couple of schooners? What's wrong with you? I can't serve, you're a bit slow, get a couple of schooners, you know, and he's talking like that. How you going, mate? And all that sort of thing. Next thing, this beautiful looking...
This is in Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
This beautiful looking American woman shows up and she said, excuse me, sir. She said, where would you be from? And he said, I'm from Condobolin. Like, he's a country boy.
So
not
should be
very
thinking,
straight.
which
He said-
country's this?
He said, so I'm from Condobolin. He said,
Is that near Uzbekistan?
she said, I'm from Condobolin. She went, you see it with the atlas in her head, you know, Condobolin. I've never heard of Condobolin. She said, indeed, she said, where would that be near? He said, 45 mile the other side of Park.
Now she's thinking, okay, longitude, latitude. So we go around, we've got Asia, we've got the...
That's true. That's true story.
Continent.
Tremendous.
And
45 mile the other side
Totally
of Park.
true story. Now,
what about sipping Tia Maria? Surely we can tell that one.
oh, that involves me. I don't think we want to tell that story.
Yeah, let's tell it.
Righto, Royce, let's talk about sipping Tia Maria off
so
the bar
that,
top.
well, okay, if you're going to talk
I
about
can't
it, you've got to
remember all
understand.
this.
Well, this was the 10-hour trip from Bathurst to Penrith, right? And it was the Mount Vic Hotel.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And
Tia Maria, you can do better than that.
no, seriously, no, you need to understand. He got woken up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so I'll go back a step. He was coaching St Mary's.
Right.
We got invited to this competition up in Bathurst.
Right, yeah.
And we fucking won it, right? We had to go up there 2 weekends
In a row, yeah.
in a row. Won the comp.
What's his A grade or?
I was just like country first grade.
Oh, Samara. Yeah. Okay.
St Mary's
So-
country rugby league.
Yep.
But Royce, being who Royce
You're the
is,
coach?
he had a very dedicated team around him. Jack Cowan,
Oh,
me.
right.
So Jack Cowan wakes him up at 8:30 in the morning with a bottle of red after they won, right? He's about 2 hours sleep, right? Cowan's fucking punching red wine into him at before 9, right? I know it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but fucking it wasn't that day, right? Anyway, then we do the pub crawl home, and Mount Vic Hotel at about 8 o'clock at night in the 10-hour journey.
Shit, you still got 12 pubs.
Oh, many pubs to go
The Ori,
to.
the Royal,
Many pubs
you got
to
it
go.
Lawson,
Anyway,
you got...
I fell asleep at the bar with a Tia Maria, and I spilled it on the fucking bar. I was asleep. So he's telling the story, right? So he says you were snoring, you are,
At the bar.
and I was sucking the Tia Maria and blowing it out.
If he wants to rubbish himself like
Yeah.
that, let him go.
Yeah, let him go wild.
True story, but he just, except for the first parts, second, last bits he was asleep.
What part?
Well, he'd draw his, till you sleep and he'd draw it in and the milk would run forward, then he'd blow it out.
Hey, and
It's not that good of a story, Joe.
what about... okay, well, why don't we go to Jimmy Small? Who named him the bowling ball?
Oh. Well, these are all the things that happened in Penrith over the years. We went on a harbour cruise, and we did a harbour cruise every year, and first grade side would go, and all the sponsors would go. We'd go out and hire the biggest boat you could, and we'd go. I think it was a fantastic day, and we'd enjoy the harbour for 6 or 7 hours and come home, and we have 3 or 4 buses take us down. 3 or 4 buses would bring us back, and this particular day we all go and land back at the Leagues Club, and there was a complaint made to the club that some of the players had rolled up this little grey-headed man, and as they were walking up to have a drink, they threw him down the wall like a bowling ball. And I was asked into the board meeting. I said, look, there's a complaint's been made that some of the people got off the bus after their nice day and they were walking up the ramp, like the long ramp to the
I remember it, yeah.
And some players rolled up a little grey-headed man.
Little Jimmy Small.
Small, and rolled him down the middle. And he said they knocked everyone down like bowling balls, you know. So
boys,
you got the name Jimmy Small, the
boys,
bowling ball.
That you know the ramp up to Dominique's?
Yes.
Where the Evans Theatre is?
Yeah, certainly do.
So they rolled him up and down.
Poor Jimmy Small.
But guess who the bloke...
At least it was carpeted.
Guess who the bloke who gave him the nickname was? Ron Willie.
Oh, was it? Good old Ron Willie.
Well, what happened? We got called into the board meeting, and there was all
Who's
the
in the
board was
board?
then.
Who's on the board then?
100 years ago. All the local.
Well, Roger Cow.
And it was no big deal.
Yeah.
We called in, and there was Ronnie Willie and myself, and they said, look, the footballers did this wrong. You know, they got this bloke and they rolled him up, and they got him and they threw him down the thing, and he knocked him, and we don't know who he is. And then Ronnie Willie said, Jimmy Small, the bowling ball. Come out of it.
Well, how do you get in trouble? But you can't get in trouble, can you?
Well, was no harm, mate. It was just fun. Yeah. It was good fun. Whatever we're talking about, it's all good fun. It's not.
Yeah.
What about